Well, hello YouTube, now back with another video. In today's many updates to tell you guys how I've been doing. So I haven't been recording a lot of video lately, but I've still been playing the game. Like, as a matter of fact, I've been in many tourneys those past weeks, and the last one was last Saturday on Twitch. It was organized by Evo Shenji and Bump, and the format was actually very fun. So it was basically a 3v3 team battle, and each player could ban 3 characters, so for a total of 6 ban that will apply to both players. And the only requirement was 1 android per team and only 1 4-bar character, so the 4-bars like the Fusion, Whis, Beerus, etc. And there was no other ban, only the bans that each player was making. And that's the format that Speedy and I are using in the background. So in my team I have Kefla, Android 19, as well as Ultimate Gohan Superhero. And I believe Speedy has Gogeta 4, Super Saiyan Rose, as well as Android 13. Yeah. So basically I just had a few games with him mid-tournament after I lost. So I made it quite far actually. I made it to quarter-final. And my last game was actually very good, but it was a little laggy, and not because of my opponent. It's just like so that was a very big lobby, and there were a lot of commentators that were watching as well. So the timing was like all over the place, and I had literally almost 0 super counter that game. Took like 1,000,000 damage from knockback alone, and my opponent was just like ping-ponging me like most of the game. But overall, I like the experience. I like the tourney, the organizer. So the cash prize was $200 for first place, I believe, 100 for second place, and 80 for third place. Yeah, and it's not really a surprise. Do you know who won that? Obviously Speedy. But Speedy is a very good player. I spent like a lot of time on this game, and each time that I fight him, like even if I lose most of the time, I have so much fun, and I also learned a lot like while fighting him. So let's comment a little bit that game in the background. So here, I believe, I haven't been paying attention, but I think that I have only 2 characters left right now. I think that Android 19 and I think my Gohan. So here we are just into a super counter battle right now with this Android, and I need to win that one. I cannot like vanish, and I managed to do it. Oh, actually my Kefla is still alive, so I just wait for him to recover so that I switch to my Gohan, so that I don't go into the vanish wall of that Android. And here I think that maybe he has Wild Sense up, so I try to be careful. And here it took me in a chase, and he's just delayed the Dragon Dash. I could have sidestepped, but I didn't anticipate him to do that. And here, the reason he's holding Perception so much right there is because he has Wild Sense. So whenever you have Wild Sense and you hold Perception, your opponent has to touch you twice before the Wild Sense actually goes off. So it also makes it tricky if you are trying to bait it out. So you might just hit into the Perception, and that's just an easy punish. Or maybe since you have to do a lot more hits, you might not anticipate that, and you might just not vanish the Wild Sense, or just waste your key vanishing for no reason. So here, after knocking me away, he just switched to the Super Saiyan Rose. He did a lot of damage on my Gohan with his Android. So here I win neutral, but he managed to sidestep my heavy, and that was on me. I shouldn't have charged it so much, especially in the middle of combo. So there's a mechanic in this game called momentum. So the more you hit your opponent, the faster your Russian become. So if you want to do a charge Russian, you should do it like at the end of the string, not the very beginning. At the very beginning, you should try to do the uncharged one that come like a lot faster. So here my Kefla is dead. I wasn't able to super counter my way out of this knockback, but I still have 19, so I just rush at him since I have a lot of key, and that Android does not charge kick unless you touch your opponent. So it's in my best interest right now to be as aggressive as possible, so that I am in key advantage and I can continue my combos. But here he managed to win neutral, and he anticipated the revenge counter. And to be honest, I wasn't going for the fast one here. I was just going for any revenge counter, especially since he was in the middle of the Dragon Dash. So I just thought that he wouldn't have enough time to press Perception. But that was on me, because that revenge counter is so slow, so there is a lot of time. And here, as you can see, he did the fast one. So the fast one is much more difficult to react to, because not only you need 2 skill point to Perception it, and with using it mid combo, you already have to be holding perception in order to catch it. But the slow one, you can catch it at any time throughout the animation. You can literally just mash the input and it will catch it for you. So here Speedy just catch me in those dragons chase, and as I explained you, like in one other video, he likes to do that a lot. And this is a very good combo because whenever you're in key disadvantage, your opponent can just start a counter attack with a super counter. But when you put him in those dragon that chase, it's much more difficult to get a super counter in, and you just get free damage. And it also help you like regenerate your key since you are still hitting your opponent throughout. So now we are at game 2. It start with the Gogeta Super Saiyan 4. I start with Kefla. It just get me in the back combo, and here you see he uses a lot of Russian first string so that he gain his ki faster, because at the beginning we both start with 2 ki bars. So if he's hitting me and I get the early super counter, I have the ki advantage because he need half a ki bar to vanish. So it's very smart from him to use those Russian to gain his ki faster. And here I haven't even touched him that much, and he's almost got like I think 20,000 damage of my Kefla, but still it's just low B, so we are just practicing right now. And here I managed to knock him back and immediately switch to my Android, and that's how you're supposed to use that Android. Just play with your first character, and when you have the opportunity during a knockback, you just switch in because it start off with 4 ki bars and it's very good on knockback. So you can just start your combo like that and regenerate your ki. So here I didn't react to the super counter, or maybe I didn't have any skill point, that's why I couldn't catch it. And here just exit his Gogeta and put 13, and I have to super counter. He just activated Wild Sands, so I got to get 2 super counter in a row in order to get out of this chain, and I wasn't able to do that. So he's just ping ponging me, and again he's just charge a lot the attack on this dragon chase. And the reason I wasn't anticipating that again, because sometimes he liked to do the ghost dash after the knockback, so I was just waiting for it and trying to time the super counter. But that's on me again. I should have just be more flexible, and that's one thing I'm practicing, just trying to slow down the game and actually looking more at what my opponent is doing so that I can get out of combo. So here after the Zebra's dash, he just delayed the attack, so he messed up my timing on the super counter, and my Android is now dead. So now I have Kefla, and I did quite well in managing my Kefla because right now she still have green health, but I still need to focus. And here I am in ki advantage, so I will try to do a long combo until he super counters, and now we're in a super counter battle. And here I think that it's the time I was feeling very confident with my super counters, because Speedy has very good connection, so whenever we fight I get a lot more super counter than usual, even if like that map is a little laggy. But still I've been practicing that aspect because I think that that's one thing I'm lacking like in my game. Like each time like I try to vanish, but nowadays I just try to super counter more, and here I'm actually managing to win those super counter at least like a little bit more than I used to like in the past. And I'm just following up in ki disadvantage because I don't care at this point. I just want to practice, and this is the best way to practice against like the best player of the game. So you just try new thing. So here I decided to end it with the revenge counter because I switched in my Gohan and I had 0 skill points, so I couldn't catch it. So again we're in another super counter battle, and I think that if I win that one, I will just try to not continue that, and unfortunately I lose it. So here he tried to get me in the chase, but fortunately for me I just hit the wall, so preventing him to do it again. And one thing that he does, I don't know if you notice, so some move that he does, they are very low end lag, meaning that even if I vanish it, if I'm not quick enough to react, he can just step in again and just counter me, and he does a lot of that. So I believe the move with the lowest end lag, it might be the low sweep, or maybe the uncharged rolling armor, as well as the first and second follow-up from the Ki. You see when you do that Ki and you hit square, so that first follow-up, even if your opponent vanishes it, you still have time to do a light smash, because that move is it's very fast, and usually whenever people vanishes it, they are slow to react to it, and it gives you like plenty of time. And the way it's also he hit in such a way that it puts a lot of distance between you and your opponent. So even if your opponent is trying to punish, you still have time to input that. So here my K-Fla is at his last bar, at her last bar, and I will just try my best to kill that Gogeta. And I managed to get him in a combo. I just popped Ysant right here, but he was ready for it. And that's how you should be using Ysant. Using mid combo. Don't let your opponent know that you are using it. And even if you already get his back, still try not to let him know, because good players, if they know that you have Wild Sense, even if you already got their back, they're in good connection, they might be able to super counter it most of the time. So my K-Fla is just dead, and I switched into my last character, that Gohan. So here I was trying to put a little bit of distance in order to transform, and he catch me, so I need to super counter my way out. And he's very smart. He does that revenge counter to prevent me to reduce my skill points so that I don't transform. And here that was very stupid of me to revenge counter and actually to follow up the combo, because even after I knock him back, I could have just waited a little bit to get my 3 skill point back and just transform to Beast Gohan. So that was another mistake. And here he just holding perception. That's one of his habits. Like whenever he knows that I'm almost dead, he's just trying to end me in a flashy way with the perception, because right now he has nothing to risk. I need to pull up all the job. So let's see how third game goes, and still the same team. So here my game plan is just to be a little more defensive and actually try to counter him. So here I managed to vanish it and try to frame trap him, but I was too slow on it, and he has time to input the perception for the Sonic Sway. And here I'm still managed to vanish, but again, as you can see, after that follow-up, even from the gut punch, I vanished it, but I was a little slow to punish. So he was able to steal perception and start his own offense. So that's one thing I need to pay more attention, like in those vanishes, especially against PD. Like even if I vanish that, if I'm not ready for the punish, I should just delay it, because I know that most of the time he's always looking for those step-ins as well as those light smash. So my K-Fla is almost dead, and he's very smart. Like he posed his combo midway, because what I was looking for is any Russian to just throw that knockback super. And the good thing about that super is that the opponent cannot revenge counter. So whenever you throw it, you have more space, more time to just take a deep breath, charge your ki more, and it also does a lot of damage. But it's fine. I switch in my ultimate Gohan, and he's still not switching his Gogeta. So I managed to win that super counter, but I was too slow with my Z-Burst dash. So the reason I was slower, I didn't do the normal Z-Burst dash. I do another thing that I've been doing is just the Z-Burst dash cancel. So just doing the Z-Burst dash and hitting guards to cancel the animation, so that I'm not too predictable with the first hit. Because top players, like most of the time they also super counter that first hit, because it's very easy to time it, especially on 5 bars connection. So here we another super counter battle, and doesn't need to continue it, so it just vanishes because it's in key advantage. And here you see, here that was again, like that's one thing that I need to practice. After that first follow-up, you see how he didn't like attack me like immediately. That means that I had enough time to punish him with a light smash or just a step in, or maybe he was just looking for it, so I don't know. But that's one thing I need to practice, like intentionally use those Russian with low end lag, so that even if my opponent vanish, I can still punish him, so I can bait him to vanish it, so that I can just step in on him. So that's one thing that's I'm going to practice a little more. So here the reason I transformed the K-Fla right there is because she's already dead, so I might as well do as much damage as I can, but I wasn't able to do so. And the reason in my team I'm not, so this is team battle, so that means that there is no DP requirement, so I could have been using Super Saiyan to K-Fla, but the reason I chose the base K-Fla is because of the no step back super, as well as Wild Sense, and also since she's a 6 DP, that means that her timer is much lower. So that's what I've been doing like throughout this tournament. Even if I could be using a much higher DP, I just choose more flexibility in my team, so that I can switch it earlier than my opponent on my Android and keep knocking it back. So that has been like working very good for me throughout the tourney. And yeah, and because like Team Battle, also one thing that I didn't mention, it doesn't have the same damage as Dispatch DP. So Team Battle is like all DP, so the difference in damage between high DP and low DP is not as pronounced as the regular DP this season. So that is very fun. I hope that this was the format of rank actually, so that there is no limitation and you can still pick like as many characters as you want and still have fun, since like the high DP don't necessarily destroy the low DPs. But I see another issue with that, you know, like some people just want easy wins, so they will probably just run a team like full of Fusion, Whis, Beerus, and at least the DP requirement limit that, so you cannot just run like OP's character in your whole team. So here I just hard-knocked him, but because I'm in an Android that don't perpetually gain key, I chose not to Z-burst dash immediately, but I think that I should have done it, because even if I would have been in key disadvantage, as long as I'm dealing damage, it's fine. And since he has good connection, I can maybe hopefully like super counter my way out. So this is probably the end for me right here. So guys, thank you for watching, and if you like the video, comment, like and subscribe to the channel, and I will try to be more consistent with my update in the future and see if I can edit some of the clip like in those tourneys that I've been participating. I think that could be my next video. So thank you guys for watching, and Nahu out.